right? Is that the phrase?
There we go. Honor the past.
Honor the past, honor the future. All right. Hi again, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Z and J-Dub podcast presented by Provenzano's Deli and the Charger Athletics Fund. J.W. Stewart along with our UNH AD, Dr. Z, Shay and Zenger. Dr. Z, how are you?
Doing well, J-Dub. It's been a heck of a week. Seems like I say that every week, but been having really good ones. And homecoming and the groundbreaking, as we talked about the week before, was everything we expected and maybe even a little more. It was really special.
We'll talk football again today on the podcast. Our guest is Dev Holmes, a graduate transfer from University of Albany and wide receiver, and been a big addition to the Chargers football program. Dev will join us in a few minutes before he runs off to practice. But yeah, let's go back to the week that was that culminated with homecoming. We often think homecoming is one day, but it's really more than one day, isn't it, Z?
You know, thanks to the hard work, Rob Thompson and John Mays, I was up till midnight, I think, every night last week. And Saturday was 1 a.m. and Sunday was recovery. And that included a JV football game and a fall baseball game. So there's always something going on. But yeah, just the people came back in droves. And I spent as much time with former track athletes as I did football players. And that's what, that makes it really special.
What is the message of these former student athletes who come back, be it track athletes or football players or basketball or whatever? What's the general message that they give you when they come back?
Number one, they love it here. They had a great time. This place transformed their lives, gave them first opportunities or second chances. They all say it differently. Number two, this place has changed dramatically over the years. The physical plant has. And number three, coming back for the football game day itself is something they never expected. It truly has become something pretty special, that experience. We're getting national recognition for it on websites and so on and so forth. So those are kind of the three main bullet points that we hear from it.
Yeah, you mentioned, there was a Twitter account out there that put together a map of the United States and listed the best game day atmosphere in all 50 states for this past week. And the University of New Haven, homecoming against St. Anselm, was one of those of the 50 states, the best atmosphere. What did you think about that when you saw that?
It just kind of you swell with pride. We'll be sending that out. I know it was retweeted a bunch of times, but I don't know which actual game day in the stadium atmosphere. I don't know if it's homecoming or the Southern game. The pregame, because of the groundbreaking with Dave Peterson and all, it was by far homecoming, and the university put its best foot forward. The advancement office, the facilities folks, really to celebrate what's going on with the Peterson Performance Center.
Take us back to that day on Saturday and the ceremonial groundbreaking. What was it like? And tell us what the phrase is that you and the school are using.
Well, it's funny when you say that. It's hard for me to kind of say it because I ended up being the MC. And when you're the MC, it's kind of an out-of-body experience. You're wanting everyone else to do well. And, while you're speaking, you're really focusing on what they're saying.
It's not easy to play point guard, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're basically, you're right. And the phrase that's on our screen, in front of our fence, in front of the Performance Center groundwork, is honor the past, own the future. And that's something I think they've been saying around here for a while. And it's something that I've embraced and we've all embraced. And I know the football team embraces, it's a long, rich, deep history here. And that doesn't exist everywhere. I've been at places that have it and some that don't.
Dave Peterson is the driving force, of course, behind the Peterson Performance Center. He was on the podcast last week, joining us from Florida. He was obviously here in person on Saturday. Z, he got very emotional.
I know Dave pretty well, and he knew he would. And I don't know if I had anything to do with it. I said, speak from the heart, just be you. And he was. And I know he spoke to the football team. We'll hear from Dev here in a little bit Friday night. And there was a video that he and Foggy put together, and then he spoke to him. And I think that was pretty moving for the guys, but also for him. Yeah, I think this was a special weekend for him, for our university, and for Charger athletics, one that won't be forgotten.
You've been a part of a lot of groundbreaking ceremonies in your life and career. What was it like to be a part of this one with the hard hat and the shovel and having everyone there lined up next to you?
So I've been a part of 15 to 25 of those. And you would expect me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Maybe it's because it's where I am right now, but it really has to do with what President Kaplan promised me 2.5 years ago. He said, if you'll come here and you're able to do things here, you are able to move the needle further here than you can other places by doing things you need to do. And that's how I felt. Of all the groundbreakings I've been a part of, the Peterson Performance Center has a greater impact on this athletics department and this university than any building I've been a part of. And it's that meaningful. And the people here are so humble and gritty. I just love them to death, from our student athletes to our coaches, to our staff, to our students on campus, to the faculty, to our alums who have really made me feel home.
And one of those gritty athletes certainly is Dev Holmes. And Dev is our guest today on the Dr. Z and J Dub podcast. He's joining us from North Campus. Dev, it's great to have you here in the Dr. Z and J Dub podcast. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good. You're probably a little worried we weren't going to stop talking there and wonder if you get to talk. But Dev, you're a lot of fun to watch out there. I enjoy watching you. And I'm going to take over point guard from J Dub. I might let him have the mic back here in a second. But I've watched you catch a lot of passes now and score a lot of touchdowns. But when you scored the one in that end zone down there and raced back to the bench and sat down, my wife got a kick out of that, and the alumni around me got it. I don't know if you'd planned that, but that was just, I haven't seen that before, and that was fun.
Yeah, we spoke about that on the sideline since the refs was throwing flags constantly on us. I'm not gonna get no flag for us. I'm gonna hand the ball right to the ref and celebrate on the bench.
Tell us about your path here to the University of New Haven.
Out of high school, I committed to University of Albany. I played in 2018, won the portal in 2019. Me and Coach P spoke in 2019. I went back to graduate instead of losing 30 credits and coming here. When I went back, I graduated. Me and Albany parted ways, got here, and this summer, and everything's been smooth sailing so far. I graduated from Albany in Homeland Security, and I'm doing a master's here in national security.
When it's all said and done, in a few years when you graduate, what do you want to do when you're with your time?
Ideally, I want to either CIA, FBI.
You wear number 0. It's very rare that we see athletes wear number 0. Why do you wear number 0, Dev?
Yeah, NCAA let football players wear 0. I saw that. And at Albany, I had 5. And when I came here, I wanted 0 to be the first person to wear 0 here. So,
Dev, your thoughts on how you fit in here and how maybe the people who have already been here have helped you fit in?
When I got here in the summer, it was just us and the guys, the football team, and they welcomed me with open arms. And since the first day I've been here, it's been all jokes, laughs, hard work, and it's no different than most places around the world. Where football, you just got to work hard. And if you work hard, the work and accomplishments will come along the way. And since we've been working since the summer, the season, we're 4-1 right now. Hopefully we stay on this winning path. So it's been smooth sailing with all the guys, and welcome me here, and Coach P and the rest of the coaching staff.
How is football and college life and classes different here at the University of New Haven than the University of Albany? That's a much bigger school and a state school versus what we have here, Division II in a private institution.
Albany, most of my classes, the smallest class I had was probably 200 kids, biggest class, 500 kids. So coming here, it feels like I can get a one-on-one relationship with the professors. And when I took a visit here in the spring, and they said the largest class size I would have with 30 kids, but it was like such a grad student, maybe 20 at most. So, that's a big difference. And I wanted a one-on-one relationship, like how I was in high school. Like I had relationships with my teachers in high school. So I'm gonna use all the connections I can get here for my next step in life in the future. So it's a big difference from a state school to a private school.
How about social life? You live with some guys on the team off campus somewhere, or how's that compared to
the social life? It was funny because I had to find a house in June, and I moved in July, and it's me, Justin Mobile, Nate Cabral, Angel Laporta, and other D lineman, Ty Leaf in there. And when I first moved in, like everyone was quiet, shy. Now we're all brothers. We walk in every day just joking around. And Chris Carlisle, he's on the same street as me. Before I came here, I didn't know who he was. Now he's one of my best friends here. So
I was in graduate school many years ago. A faculty member at another institution wanted to study football teams and how they come together as teams and families. And to me, it was just so obvious. I spent my whole life in that, and you have, and so have. And it's a story that I think the rest of the world loves to touch and get a piece of, whether it be high school, college, or the professional ranks. But football teams are unique and special. The blending of everyone, and even in your own living situation, this is what I like the most. There's always skill guys with big guys. you know, and that alone, there's, I got Rob Thompson sitting across the table from me here laughing because, some of my best friends have always been linemen. They're just the best guys in the world, right? And when you get them to open up, they are loyal puppies, man, the rest of your life.
Football is definitely unique too, because you find all different types of guys around the world, and somehow, some way, we all blend together no matter what.
Dev, Dr. Z was asking you before about the celebration there, when you ran and sat on the bench with your arms folded. Do you pre-plan your celebrations as a wide receiver?
As the game goes on, we talk about it, depending on the refs and everything. We're on the sideline. Me, Connor, Carlisle, Shamar, we're always on the sideline talking about what we're gonna do if we score this game. We talk during the week too, because like we see something that the NFL players just did this weekend, like we probably do it this weekend too. So
Rush, who's the fastest guy on the team, Dev?
I gotta give it to Corey Millhouse. He might have me beat by a couple steps. He's a quick guy.
We had Connor, the quarterback, Connor Dagenhart, on a couple of weeks ago. You've had a chance to know him. Both you guys, again, came in at the same time. He's grad transfer from Holy Cross. Your thoughts on what it's been like to get to know him and to play with him?
I was working out this summer where I usually work out in Springfield Central. And when I heard the news that we was getting a Holy Cross quarterback, I watched him on film at Albany because when we played Monmouth, they played Monmouth. So I seen him sling the pill a little bit already. So when I heard he was coming here, and we both got up here around the same time, right after we both got up here, we exchanged numbers and started to get the connection down early. And we had the routes on the air. And anytime we were free, we would just shoot each other a text, hang out, get the relationship going fast and early.
Connor said when he was here a couple of weeks ago, he's very good at making chocolate chip cookies. Can you attest to this, Dev? Have you tried any of his chocolate chip cookies that he's made?
I could not attest for that. I could attest for Coach Pete's wife, chocolate chip cookies. She makes desserts for the team, but Connor has never brought in desserts. It's probably his girlfriend making desserts for him.
Wow, you think he's pulling a fast one on us, huh?
Yeah. I think he pulled a fast one on you guys last
At
week.
the very least, he's not sharing. We know
Right.
that.
Yeah, if he was good at baking, he would have shared some, but he never shared any cookies yet.
So if Connor's quote unquote hidden talents are baking cookies, what are your hidden talents, Dev?
I used to play the trumpet.
Wow.
Really? For
Yeah.
how many years?
All the way to 10th grade. I started in 6th grade in middle school, and all the way to 10th grade, I played the trumpet.
And then no more because of why?
I had too many things going on. I had football, and then right after football, after 10th grade, we always went to states. So I rode into basketball season, and then I did track.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always busy with sports.
What'd you run in track? What were your events?
100, 200, 4x1, and 4x4. And then my senior year, I was messing around with the high jump because our high jumper,
Yeah.
it was my best friend, Joe Casal, who's at Albany still.
Mm-hmm.
His PR was 6 foot. So in practice one day, I jumped over like his PR. So they threw me in. My PR 6'4". So
wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's impressive. I noticed on your Twitter feed that you're a big fan of Kobe Bryant. Tell us about that.
That's my idol. That's my favorite athlete of all time. I think he's better than Michael Jordan and LeBron James. That started young because my dad likes the Lakers, so I always watched the Lakers, and I always loved his mentality because he didn't care about who was out on the court. He always attacked whoever. So, and then when The Last Dance came out, and you got a real view of him young against Michael Jordan, it was just fun to watch because that's a mirror image of each other. Like they both do the same moves and everything.
So growing up, was basketball your favorite sport?
Yeah. I almost quit football. I want to say like when I was in like 4th or 5th grade because I wanted to do AAU during the summer and football during the summer. Yeah. So my favorite sport was always basketball, but I was just better. And I mean, I'm only 5'9", 5'8", so I mean, I wasn't gonna go nowhere for basketball. So I did that.
You had some great football moments when you've been here with us at the University of New Haven in your first year with us. You had an unbelievable football movement on a pro field when you were at Albany. You guys played at Pitt. Tell us that story.
I knew when I committed to Pitt, we was gonna open up with Pitt. I mean, when I committed to Albany, we was gonna open up with Pitt. And all summer, I just had to work hard to earn the starting spot, and I did that. So all week, when before we went out to Pitt, they was telling me about DeMar Hamlin, Paris Ford, guys that are in the NFL right now. And they showed me a video of DeMar Hamlin hitting someone in high school. He made him bite through his mouthpiece and his tongue. So they was like, well, yeah, like he's a hard hitter. Watch out for this guy. So going into the week, like I watched a bunch of film with my older brother. We broke down film. And I want to say the second play, I got a little quick skinny post on DeMar, caught it. And after that, it was just like a normal game. Like I've been playing with older guys my whole life because I've been around my older brother. So when I went in the big game, it was exciting to open up with them, an FBS team that actually faced Clemson in the ACC championship game that year.
How do you see the rest of the season playing out? What are your thoughts and expectations for the rest of the way?
Each week, we're focused on the AIC this week. We're going in each week as a single elimination game because if we lose the conference championship. So that's how we're viewing the season. We can't lose no more. We only lost to Bowie State. So hopefully we don't lose it no more and we make the playoffs. So.
Hey, Dev Holmes, thanks for joining us here on the Dr. Z and J-Dub podcast. We appreciate it. Good luck this week against AIC, and we'll see you in a few weeks back at home for the Pink game.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully I see you guys at the AIC game this weekend, and hopefully it's a lot of fun for New Haven. So.
Thanks, Dev. That is Dev Holmes, graduate student, transfer from UAlbany, told us before the broadcast began, he's got 3 years of eligibility left. He turned 21 in March of this year. So conceivably, he could be playing here until he's 24. I don't know if he'll stay that long, but we do know he'll be around next year as well as he finishes up his master's degree.
He might get a PhD while he's at it.
How long did it take you to get your PhD? I never asked you.
The whole run's 12 years.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's in the rearview mirror. I can tell you that.
This is the Dr. Z and J-Dub podcast presented by Provenzano's Deli and the Charger Athletics Fund. With a gift of $500 or more to the Charger Athletics Fund, an annual gift that is, it entitles you to pregame football VIP tent, sideline VIP tent, and postgame reception at the German Club. And all those places were packed this past Saturday for homecoming, Z.
I think I've said weeks past, from the Breakfast Club in the morning until we shut it down around midnight somewhere. It's just been great. But that part surpassed any of the others because of the numbers. The alumni that came back, I already alluded to the fact there was track, there was women's basketball, there was women's soccer, there was you name it. There were guys from hockey from years gone by. And the huddle, the event Friday night before that the Alumni Association put on, to the German Club, to some other private dinners we had, just I couldn't ask for any more participation. And we were at our limit according to COVID restrictions, but considering where we are in this day and age, it was just a joy to be around everyone in all those environments.
For more information or to donate to the Charger Athletic Fund, go to chargerathleticsfund.com. Time now for our weekly segment, our male and female student athletes of the week. Female athlete of the week, Kira Integlia, field hockey. She's our goalie. 2 shutouts last week, including 6-0 against Southern Connecticut and 2-0 against Southern New Hampshire. And Christian Ace, 2 interceptions, including 1 for a pick 6, the male athlete of the week, cornerback for the football team, freshman out of Stoughton, Mass. Pretty good story. Christian and his twin brother, Chris, both scored touchdowns in that homecoming victory against St. A's.
Yeah, we got a lot of really neat stories going on. I mean, you just feel the momentum everywhere you turn. I mean, who has stories like that?
Well, we always say that the University of New Haven is a family and football is definitely family. Well, that's literally the family,
that's
right?
It's
the Ace brothers from Stoughton, Mass.
There you go.
Making their folks proud back home. Z, final thoughts on Dev Holmes or on anything from the past week as we wrap this up this podcast?
We asked Dev for a reason. He's just a special guy to watch out there and get you revved up. And I know that I sit in the crowd here more than I have other places, and he gets the crowd going. And so that's important. My final thought would just be the groundbreaking pregame tent honoring Dave Peterson is truly something. It goes down as one of my favorite memories in my career.
That'll wrap up another edition of the Dr. Z and J-Dub podcast presented by Provenzano's Deli and the Charger Athletics Fund. For our executive producer, John Mays, for producer Broccoli Rob Thompson, for Dr. Z, I'm J-Dub. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Dr. Z and J-Dub podcast.
Tell us how good we were. He wouldn't even watch it.
I was ready to get into the menu at Lorenzo's. I was waiting for
I was
that.
killing it.